back as we continue to cover this breaking news of Arlen Specter becoming a Democrat and potentially changing the balance of power on Capitol Hill. Now we go directly to Pat Toomey, the Republican congressman who had barely lost last time, won 49% of the vote against Arlen Specter last time, 5 years ago. Congressman, what do you say to this switchover by Specter now becoming a Democrat?
Well, Andrea, I think, really it's very unfortunate, but not terribly surprising. I mean, Senator Specter has long sided with the Democrats more often than Republicans, voting with them, and clearly sharing a liberal and left-of-center ideology, and now he's acknowledged that with his party registration. But, of course, the problem and the question that I think Democrats and Pennsylvanians generally will be asking themselves is, can they trust this man? I mean, just last week, he went all over Pennsylvania insisting that it was vitally important that we not turn over the entire government to the Democrats, and that was why he needed to be elected in the primary, because only he could win the general and remain a Republican. And then today, he personally delivers control of the government to the Democrats. So I think he's going to have some problems explaining that.
I sense a theme emerging because it doesn't take much to see. Michael Steele called him a left-wing Democrat. Lindsey Graham called him a left-wing, or rather a left-wing member of the party. So clearly you're painting him as a left-winger, but isn't he more a moderate Republican? And isn't it the case that the Republican Party has become more conservative in Pennsylvania, smaller and more conservative, and that there aren't many surviving moderate Republicans in the Northeast?
Andrea, I don't think the Republican Party has changed in Pennsylvania. What Arlen Specter has tried to do is to have it both ways. He's just constantly on both sides of every issue, card check being the most recent example. As you may recall, he was an original co-sponsor of the bill. He did a press conference in support of the bill. He voted to advance the bill last year. And then when he thought he might still be able to survive this primary, he decided he was against it. Now, I suspect he might flip back yet again and be for it again, but I think voters are fed up with people who are only concerned about their own personal political fortunes and stand for no principles, no ideas. I think it's really caught up with Senator Specter.
All right, Pat Toomey, who now has a very different race plotted out, because you probably have a clear shot now at the Republican nomination, no primary fight, don't have to spend the money, and can gear up for a fight against Arlen Specter in the fall a year from now. Thanks so much, Congressman. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more coming up after.